February 8th on this day, in 1587, Mary, Queen of Scots, was executed by beheading at Fotheringhay Castle at the age of 44 after being found guilty of plotting to assassinate Elizabeth I in what became known as the Babington Plot. In 1672, Isaac Newton presented his first paper on optics to the Royal Society in London, introducing his groundbreaking research on the nature of light. In 1735, the first opera performance in the North American colonies took place as Flora opened in Charleston, South Carolina. In 1807, the Battle of Eylau ended inconclusively between Napoleon Bonaparte's forces and the Russian Empire, marking the first significant engagement in which Napoleon was not victorious. In 1820, William Tecumseh Sherman, who would become a major Union general and a key architect of modern warfare during the American Civil War, was born. In 1828, Jules Verne, a French novelist, regarded as one of the first writers of science fiction with works like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, was born. In 1834, Dmitry Ivanovich Mendeleev, the Russian chemist who developed the periodic table of elements, was born. In 1851, Kate Chopin, an American novelist and short story writer best known for The Awakening, was born. In 1861, delegates from seceded southern states adopted a provisional Confederate Constitution, laying the foundation for the Confederacy during the American Civil War. In 1862, Union troops led by General Ambrose Burnside defeated Confederate defenders at the Battle of Roanoke Island in North Carolina. In 1865, Confederate raider William Quantrill and his men attacked a group of Federal supply wagons near New Market, Kentucky. In 1867, the Ausgleich, or Compromise, established the dual monarchy of Austria-Hungary, reorganizing the empire and granting greater autonomy to Hungary. In 1887, the United States Congress passed the Dawes General Allotment Act, which allocated Native American reservation land to individuals and aimed to assimilate indigenous peoples into American society. In 1900, British General Redvers Buller suffered defeat at Ladysmith, South Africa, as British forces retreated across the Tugela River during the Second Boer War. In 1904, Japanese forces launched a surprise attack on Port Arthur in Korea, disabling 7 Russian warships at the beginning of the Russo-Japanese War. In 1911, Elizabeth Bishop, who would become an acclaimed American poet, was born. In 1915, The Birth of a Nation, directed by D.W. Griffith, premiered at Clunes Auditorium in Los Angeles. The 12-reel film was praised for its technical innovations, but widely condemned for its racist themes and positive portrayal of the Ku Klux Klan. In the early 1920s, Lana Turner, who would rise to fame as a glamorous Hollywood actress known for her dramatic roles and tumultuous personal life, was born. In 1924, the gas chamber was used for the first time in the United States to execute a convicted murderer, marking a new era in capital punishment methods. In 1931, James Dean was born. He would become a symbol of restless and idealistic youth in the 1950s, especially known for films such as Rebel Without a Cause, East of Eden, and Giant. In 1936, the first ever National Football League draft took place, with Jay Berwanger of the University of Chicago chosen as the first pick by the Philadelphia Eagles. In 1940, Ted Koppel, an influential American television journalist, was born. In 1942, Japanese forces landed on Singapore during World War II, setting the stage for the eventual fall of the city to Japan. In 1943, British General Ord Wingate led a guerrilla force known as the Chindits against Japanese troops in Burma during World War II. In 1952, Elizabeth became Queen of the United Kingdom following the death of her father, King George VI. In 1960, Queen Elizabeth II issued an order in council declaring that she and her family would be known as the House of Windsor, and that her descendants would take the name Mountbatten Windsor. In 1965, South Vietnamese forces bombed the North Vietnamese Communications Center at Vinh Linh during the Vietnam War. In 1971, the Nasdaq Composite Stock Market Index was introduced with 50 companies and a starting value of 100. In 1971, South Vietnamese ground forces, supported by American air power, began Operation Lam Son 719, a large-scale incursion into Laos that would end in disaster 3 weeks later. In 1974, the use of Skylab, the United States space station, came to an end after 171 days in orbit. In 1976, the American film Taxi Driver, directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Robert De Niro as a troubled Vietnam War veteran, had its world premiere. In 1990, CBS television suspended commentator Andy Rooney temporarily after he made controversial remarks in a magazine interview. In 1999, Dame Iris Murdoch, the British novelist and philosopher known for more than 25 novels blending vivid storytelling with philosophical themes, died at the age of 79.
Subscribe so you don't miss tomorrow's events.